Welcome to the Life After Plus One podcast, where we turn life's lemons into delightful lemonade. Get ready for inspiring stories, uplifting conversations, and all the tips and tricks to rock your single parent journey with style. I'm your host, Leanne, and it's time to embrace the adventure of Life After Plus One. So, let's dive in. Hello. Welcome back to Life After Plus One. I'm Leanne, your podcast host and your single parent mentor and coach. And today I want to talk about the topic of meeting friends. How do you get out and meet people, especially when you're parenting full-time or you're working full-time, and then the time that you're not working, you're parenting and you just don't have a chance to stop and get out and meet people in your own age group? How do you do it? How do you go about it? Well, I'm going to dive straight into that topic today, and let's talk about how to get out and meet new friends. Now, we quite often look at our kids and think, it's so easy for them to make friends. They just talk to anyone. But you've got to realize it's no different for adults. We can also just talk to anyone. But as we get older, it's quite easy to get into your little comfort zone bubble and your fear of speaking to people that you don't know in case you're going to get judged. It's no different for kids than it is for adults, where the only difference is that kids don't tend to have that fear of rejection or fear of someone not talking to them. They're just like, and they'll just go play with another friend. And they've got an endless amount of friends that they can play with on a daily basis. And then they go to after school activities or their sports or whatever else it is. And they've got more friends there, and they've got friends that they can play with in the street where they live. There's endless opportunities for kids to meet people. So it's quite common for people to think, it's so easy for them to make friends. They can just talk to anyone. But you need to remember, as an adult, it's no different. You too can also talk to anyone. So don't put that fear in your head thinking, I can't do that. I can't just talk to anyone because you're an adult. Yes, you can. So how do you meet people? Well, one way, if you haven't listened to it already, last week I did release an episode on getting out and meeting people without the app. So that was from Lisa from Connect Social, discussing about social groups and meeting people in different groups and fun little settings and speed dating. And that's a way to get out and meet people. But if you're not necessarily looking in the dating world, you might just wanting to make another female friend or another male friend. That still is a good idea. But other things that you can do is have a look around you when you leave the house. You have endless opportunities to meet someone new or to talk to someone. Most of us are creatures of habit. We will go to the same places on a regular basis, like when it comes to getting your coffee, or maybe your Sunday breakfast, or when it comes to getting your groceries, maybe you go to the same place and you're there at a similar time each week. Are you going to the same places week in, week out, day in, day out even, seeing the same faces there, but you don't look at them, you don't smile at them, you don't talk to them? Why not? That's the perfect opportunity for you right there to make a new friend. Because if you're going to these places on a daily basis and you're seeing these same people, why not approach someone and start a conversation? Now, for some people, it's quite a scary thing. How do you do that? How do you just start a conversation? Well, you don't make it forced. You make it natural. You might see someone, you might like the dress that they're wearing, or they might have a dog and you might start talking to them about that, because quite often people are walking around with their dogs these days. It just could be anything about what they're wearing. It could be their hairstyle. It could be something that they're ordering at a specific shop that you're at. It could be anything. Just start a conversation about that. I love that dress. Where'd you get that from? And then they might know that they see you there on a regular basis. So from then on in, you might just start having a little chit chat each time. That's how it starts. Get out of your comfort zone. Don't sit there and say, it's impossible to meet new people. There's no way. I have no time. I've got my kids 100% of the time. You're not 100% confined to your house and to the four walls that you live in. You leave the home, or your house, I should say. You're not there all the time. So there's no reason why you can't meet people. And that's just one example. There's probably an endless list of places that you go to on a daily basis, and you're surrounded by a huge group of people. And majority of the time, it's probably the same people that you're seeing each time you go. It could be at the gym. You could be going to the gym each time, the same time, I should say, every single day. And you're seeing the same group of people. I know when I go to the gym and I'm there at the same time, I'm seeing the same group of people. Are you someone that just puts your headphones in, or you put your Beats on, or whatever, your pods, you put them on, listen to your music, and you just shut everyone out? Because that used to be me. I didn't want to talk to people at the gym because some people may think it's rude, but for me, that was my time. That was my quiet time. And so I didn't really want to talk to people. But in a way, you realize that you're shutting people out. It's okay to not talk to people through the whole workout, but you can still acknowledge people and have a little chat when you walk in and have a little chat when you leave. It's nice to be polite and it's nice to be friendly. And when people see that, they will acknowledge you each time they see you. And then one day you might see them out in public and be like, hey, that's the person from the gym. That's Tom. How are you going? And then you might get to a point where it's like, hey, let's catch up on Saturday. I've got no kids. What are you doing? Do you want to go grab a movie or something? That's how these things happen. That's how friendships build. It's not an impossible thing to happen. People put so much pressure on themselves as adults to make friends. It's not such a hard task, and even if you meet someone and they're not your ideal cup of tea and it's not what you're looking for, that's okay. You can still be on a hey, how you going kind of basis. You don't have to see them on a regular basis or turn into best friends if they're not the kind of friend that you're looking for. You're just very different kinds of people. That's okay. But sometimes being friends with someone very different can also teach you something new too. So that's not a bad thing as well. So you've also just got to look at making the most of the circumstances that you're in. So if you're in a situation where you have got your kids 100% of the time, or even if you don't have your kids 100% of the time, where are you going where there's other people that you can socialize with, but you're not? But then you're saying you can't make friends. Are you one of the 50 other parents at after school activities and you don't talk to them because you're too busy sitting there on your phone, you're scrolling? Like at swimming or football training or whatever else, are you talking to other parents there? Are you making an effort to get to know them? Do you talk to other parents at school pickup and school drop off? Or are you someone that just drops and runs? It could even be the fact that you like to go out to your local pub one night a week. They might have a cheap night, like schnitzel night or 2-for-1 pizza or whatever they have, Taco Tuesday, who knows? And then one night a week, that's your night to go out for dinner. And you see the same people there every week. Why don't you talk to them? Hey, come join me. Let's grab a beer or something, or whatever it is. Find a way to start a conversation. If you're seeing the same people every time you go somewhere and then you're saying you're not able to make friends, you don't know how to make friends, then you need to ask yourself, why not? Is it because you're too scared to get out of your comfort zone? Is it because you're too scared to talk to people? Is it because you're too scared of being rejected in case you go up and talk to someone and they don't want to talk to you? People are not going to shut you down. You're not asking someone to go on a date, or maybe that is your intention in the long run, but it's even just a mutual friend, someone that you can just catch up with on a regular basis, or even if not that, just someone who can say, hey, and then when you see them, it kind of gradually increases the more you see them. Don't put pressure on yourself. No one, when you go up to someone and say, hey, how you going? Or you acknowledge them because you're seeing them on a regular basis, they're not going to turn around and say, who the fuck are you? Who does that? I mean, there might be a small portion of people that might do that, but it's very rare. People aren't naturally going to be rude to you if you're going to approach them in a friendly manner. There's no reason for someone to shut you down. They might be like, oh, hey, mate, how you going? They might not even know who you are. They maybe not recognize you and they haven't noticed you other previous weeks or days that you've been there. They might not know, but they're not just going to shut you down and be like, oh, who's that? They might just be like, oh, hey. Most of the time people go along with it and they'll just wave. And it's not really a new friend at this stage, but it's more of an acquaintance. And that's how you get to know people. So it's about getting out of your comfort zone and not being scared to approach people. You're not going to get rejected just because you're talking to another adult. So you've got to lose that fear of rejection, really. Lose the fear of what other people are going to think of you. Go up to other people with the attitude of confidence and go, you know what? There's no reason why I can't talk to someone. What are they going to do? Tell me to F off? And another way to go about it. We all have social media. We all have phones. Well, actually, not everyone does have social media, but I'd say probably about a good 98% of us probably do. I don't know if that's a high portion, but I'm guessing that's roughly what it would be. We all scroll, we all do what we do at nighttime. There is no reason, if you're really struggling to actually talk to someone out in public, face to face, put up a post on a Facebook group or any kind of group that you're in, whether it be a single parent group or just a singles page or a page that's related to a hobby or a sport or an activity that you like to participate in. Put a post up and say, hey, we're looking to make new friends. Is anyone interested in catching up? Or maybe there's a concert or event that's on that you're interested in going to, but you don't have anyone to go with. Put a post up on a page saying, hey, would anyone be interested in joining me? You might get one person, you might get 10, you might get none. But so what? Even if you don't get anyone respond, what have you lost from doing that? Nothing. If anything, you've got the opportunity to gain maybe 10, 20 new friends. You might just gain one. Who knows? But you've got nothing to lose. And even if no one does comment, worst case scenario, you're feeling really shit about it, go back and delete the post. Who cares? But even if nobody does comment, don't take it personally, because not everyone sees all the posts these days. The algorithm is ridiculous. So just take it in a way that not everybody's seen the post, or not the people that were interested in it has seen the post. So don't take things too personally. And that's one of the biggest issues. People are just really precious and they take things so personally. It's okay to let your guard down, and it's okay to trust other people. And there's groups for everything these days. Like I said at the start, there's those social groups that I discussed last week with Lisa from Connect Social. There's also holidaying groups. There's groups for single parents. There's groups for just men. There's groups for just women. There's groups for anything and everything. Join some of these, whether it's even networking. If you have a business, you're a business owner, attend networking events. I have been to so many of those. Mind you, I haven't been to many recently just because of my schedule. It just hasn't matched up. But that's another great way to meet new friends. I've met a lot of amazing friends from going to these networking events. And sometimes people think, it's a waste of money. I'm not going to get any work from it. It's not necessarily about getting work. It's about making new connections. And these networking events are amazing for that. And once you know these people, and if they know you and they know your business, they're like, oh, that's right. I know Tom. He's got that paint business and you need to get your house painted. Give him a call. It's not necessarily about getting new business from a networking event, but they're more likely to refer you on. And when you go to these networking events and you're seeing the same faces, that's a great way to make new friends. And that's how you got to think of it. I remember the first time I went to a networking event, it is a little bit scary. It's like when I first went to that speed dating event. Probably wasn't as intimidating as that, but it is quite scary walking into an event when you're there on your own. You don't know anyone. But you've got to remember, you're all adults and you're all in the same boat. And once you're sitting down at a table, it's very easy just to chit chat. Everyone's usually got a name badge on, so you know their name or their business name. Sometimes they have that on there, or they'll just give you a business card, and quite often they'll introduce themselves. The people that go to these events on a regular basis will come up. They're usually a lot more confident, and they'll come up and introduce themselves and start talking to you. It's a nice way to get to know people. So if you're a business owner and you work from home and you're not in an office environment where you can meet people, attend some of these networking events. And a lot of them these days, they do them by Zoom. So you can do some that are not just your local networking events. You can do them in the whole country or globally. There's so many different ones and different networking events that are on. And it's a great way to connect with people. Mind you, some of those online ones are probably not the best place to actually start up a friendship group, unless it becomes something of a regular basis and it's something you do maybe weekly or fortnightly, and then you can start to connect with other people in the group. Maybe so, but more so the ones that are in person, and they're usually the ones that you want to actually connect with and want to make friends with, because they're in your area and that's what you want. You want people that when you had a shit day, you can say, hey, let's go grab a coffee, or whatever it is. Let's go get dinner together. I don't have the kids this weekend. Let's go catch up. You want someone that's in your area that you can connect with when you're having a shit day. And then maybe you are someone that's got your kids all the time and you can't just say, hey, let's go out for dinner. Then invite them over to your place with their kids. It's also a great way for your kids to make new friends that are not just kids from their school. So you meeting new friends is also an opportunity for your kids to meet new friends, and then they become friends, and then you go on holidays together and you all sing Kumbaya. Okay, that's an exaggeration. But that's how it all starts. You need to get out of your comfort zone. So don't sit there on a Saturday night saying, I'm bored, I'm lonely, or I've got no friends. How do you make friends? Well, you know what? When you go out next time, when you leave the house, I want you to look around and look at all the different ways that you can make a new friend. Are you going to the same coffee shop? Are you going to the same restaurants? Are you going to the same grocery store and the same clothes shops and whatever else? What are the other places? The same hairdresser, the same doctors, the same dentist? Are you going to these same places all the time and seeing the same faces, but you're not talking to them? You wouldn't even know their name from a bar of soap. And if you saw them walking down the street, you probably wouldn't even know because you don't talk to them. When you're there, you're sitting on your phone or you're doing your own thing. You just go in, buy your coffee, boom, straight out again. Next time you're out, look around you. Put your phone away. Put your phone in your pocket and be more mindful of what's happening around you. You don't need to be connected to your phone all the time. And it's such a bad habit that so many of us have, that when we're just there waiting for something, we just pull out our phones and just scroll. Why do we do that? I don't know. I'd love to know the reason behind that. I don't know what it is. If it's just that hit of, just seeing what's happening. We just can't stand there and just be still and just watch what's happening. What we used to do years ago. So try and do that. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of the people around you. And then you probably start to notice, oh shit, he's here every single day the same time I am. And I've never even noticed. He's not a bad looking person. I might say hi to him next time or whatever it is. And like I said, it may not be in a flirtatious manner. Start a conversation about anything. And like I said, you're not going to get shut down. They're not going to turn to you and go, who the hell are you? If you approach someone in a friendly manner and give them a compliment, that's the best way to approach someone, where I guarantee you they will not shut you down. You give someone a compliment, you put a smile on their face, you've made their day, and then they might turn around and say, oh, thank you, that's nice of you. Or they might turn back and ask you a question and they might start the conversation flowing. Or they might just say nothing. Who knows? But if they say nothing and then you see them again the next day and you say, hey, how you going? And then they might respond back and say, hey, how you going? Or good, thanks. How are you? Whatever it is. And then slowly the conversation will increase. But if they're acknowledging you and saying hi, bring it back. Start the conversation. Ask them something. Oh, so you must work around here. What do you do? Where are you based? Ask them anything. What are they doing for work? Ask them if they got kids. Your kids go to school in the local area. You might find out that your kids even go to the same school. Who knows? But there are so many ways to get out of your comfort zone and meet new people, but you've just got to be open-minded to do it. So when you're sitting around on a Saturday night thinking, fuck, I'm lonely, fuck, I've just got no friends, I'm sick of this, I'm sick of not having anyone to talk to, I want you to sit there and ask yourself, are you doing anything possible to get out and make new friends? What are you doing to make new friends? Are you just sitting back complaining about it, hoping that they'll just land in your lap? Are you hoping that some random friend from 20 years ago that you went to school with is just going to randomly call you and say, hey, let's catch up for dinner? Are you randomly calling old friends and saying, hey, let's catch up for dinner? Or are you waiting for someone to do that to you? You've got to put it out there. You've got to put the olive branch out there and reach out to other people and not just wait for people to reach out to you. So next time you're lonely and bored and looking at your life thinking, I've got no friends, I want you to think about, one, all the friends that you do have that you could possibly be reaching out to, and two, all the opportunities that you have to make new friends and you're not doing anything about them. Like, for example, when I go for my beach walk, mind you, I go for a different time now. I don't go at the same time in winter because it's freezing in the morning. So I usually go at a bit of a later time in the day. It's usually more so in the afternoon. But when I was walking in the morning, I'd always see the same people and it was nice. You'd always see the same people out on the beach going for their morning walk. And quite often you'd stop and you'd have a little chit chat and you'd talk about whatever, but the waves, the tide, the beach, the day, anything. You'd just talk about anything, the holidays that they'd been on. And then when it went on too long, you just stop it and go, okay, got to keep going now. Got to get ready for work or whatever it is. And off you go. You do what you got to do. And it's nice because when you see the same people every day, that's how it starts. Hey, how you going? And then eventually the hey, how you going will stop and end up into a little chit chat, and it slowly progresses. That's how you make friends. You get out of your comfort zone. And so many times I've actually done it, and I've done a little, I wouldn't say tests, but I've actually tried to initiate contact with people. And you look at, like, you give them eye contact, or you smile and say, hey, how you going? Or hi, morning, or whatever it is as you're walking. And it's surprising the amount of people that don't even give eye contact. So you don't even get the opportunity to do that. You look at people and you're waiting for them to look back so you can acknowledge them, say, hey, morning. They don't even look in your direction because they're just so focused. And they're not necessarily being rude. It's just so many people are just caught up in their own little bubble and their own thoughts of things that they've got to get done. It's all constantly go, 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 go. But sometimes you just got to stop and relax and be aware of your surroundings and the people in it. And you've also got to realize that not everyone around you is mean and nasty. Not everyone is going to say something rude to you if you acknowledge them. And not everyone in the world is out to get you. There are lovely people out there, and there's so many more of them if you approach them in a friendly manner, and you'll see that. So when you're out in public, give eye contact to people. And if it's someone you're seeing on a regular basis, give a smile or give a little nod, give the morning, whatever it is. Acknowledge them. It's nice to be acknowledged. And even if sometimes there's been times when I've said morning to people and they don't acknowledge you back, okay, no worries. I just think maybe they didn't hear me. Maybe they had their pods on, whatever it is. But don't take it personally if someone doesn't respond. Oh, they're an arsehole, they didn't talk to me. Or how fucking rude, how dare they? Don't. Who cares? Like I said, maybe they didn't hear. Maybe they were just a little bit rude. Maybe they just had a shit morning and they just didn't want to talk to anyone and they were just zoned out. They were just in their own little bubble and they didn't even notice. Don't take it personally if someone doesn't respond. Just keep walking and give eye contact to the next person. Morning. And I guarantee they'll probably respond. Most of the time, people will. They like it. It feels nice when people acknowledge you. And it's not just when you're on a walk. It's when you're going to places that you're going to on a regular basis and you're seeing the same kind of people, whether it be at a class that you do or the gym or even at your local supermarket. I remember just the other day I was having a conversation with my daughter. I said, you become a regular somewhere where the staff at your local supermarket will stop and have a chit chat to you. So that's a nice thing. I mean, they're not exactly someone that you might call your best friend or your friends, but it's nice. That's how it starts. You see, they've obviously seen me there on a regular basis, which I am there quite often. It's in my local supermarket. And so they know, and I'm always there at the self-serve checkout and I do my thing. So they would obviously know all the locals that they see and the local regulars that they see, and they probably have chit-chats with a lot of them because they probably want someone to talk to. And it's nice. And that's how you start a conversation with people. When you're going to places on a regular basis, you just start a little conversation about anything. And most of the time, it's about that boring topic, the weather. That's how a lot of people start conversations. But you know what? That's the only way you know how to start it, then go for it. If it's a shitty day and it's raining, oh, crap weather, isn't it? If it's a beautiful sunny day, how gorgeous is this day? That's quite often how people start a conversation. But doesn't matter. It's a good way to start. If that's your only way you know how to start it, then do that. And if you want to get out of that weather conversation and take it to the next level, give them a compliment about something. Talk about anything that's related to what they're doing. Maybe they're ordering something completely different to what you would order. And you're like, oh, wow, that sounds interesting. What is that? And ask them a question about what they're ordering. And you're like, I might order that next time, or whatever it is. Start a conversation about anything, and then you might see them again in the next day. Hey, I ended up buying that drink that you were telling me about. That was so nice. Thanks for that tip. That's how you start conversations. Just little things like that. Anything and everything. Don't be scared to get out of your comfort zone, and don't keep thinking, oh, it's so easy for kids because they've got so many opportunities, or not so many opportunities, but they've got so many kids around them. But there's no difference with us as adults. We have an endless amount of adults around us. We just don't know how to get out of our comfort zone and approach them. It's no different for kids. And that's usually why as kids get older, they usually stick to their little set groups and they don't expand out as much as they used to because they get more self-conscious and more self-aware, and that's when the fear of rejection starts to come in. Oh, I can't talk to them in case they don't like me, or I might not fit in, or all those things come into play. And as you get older, that's all what it's about. You have all these little doubts and fears that come into your head. But when you're younger, and you're a young kid in primary school, and you just don't care, you play with anyone, talk to anyone, it's the last of your concerns. You just want to be everyone's friend in primary school, don't you? But there's no difference when you're an adult. You've just got to learn to get rid of that fear of rejection, because you're not being rejected. You're not looking for a husband or a wife. That's not your goal in this. You're looking just to make some new friends. So just start by acknowledging someone. Give them a smile, give them a nod, give them a morning. Hey, how's your day going? Whatever it is, that's how you start making friends. And if you're still not comfortable, then like I said, those Facebook groups, join groups for anything and everything that you love. If you love painting, join a paint class or paint group or whatever. If you're in business, join all these business networking groups, because there's a ton of them on Facebook. I can tell you that now. If you're over a certain age, there's Facebook groups for women over 40, for women over 50, for men over 40 or 50. There's Facebook groups for anything and everything. Join some of those groups that are related to your interests and to what you like doing, your hobbies or whatever it is. And then quite often you'll find a lot of those groups do organize catch-ups and events and whatever else. And that's how you meet people. There are so many ways, but we just get so stuck to the habits of sitting on our phone and scrolling. That's the perfect opportunity to use to make friends. Don't sit there doom scrolling saying you can't find a friend when you have the perfect tool to find a friend sitting in your hand. That's how you find a friend. Do something about it. You can't just sit there and complain and say, I've got no friends. Put a post up. Hey, who wants to catch up this weekend? I've got no kids. I'm kid free. Anyone up for a night out, or let's go grab dinner or something, whatever. And maybe someone else has put a post up for a dinner catch up. And you're like, oh yeah, that sounds fun. I can maybe get so-and-so to watch the kids and then I can attend. But then you might think, oh no, I don't know anyone, so I'm not going to go. And then you chicken out. You talk yourself out of it. Why? Do you think you're going to turn up and everyone's not going to like you? Everyone there is probably in the same boat. Good chance the other people don't know all the others either. So why not just give it a go? You do not have anything to lose. So don't be scared to get out of your comfort zone and meet new people. If you're in business, go to those networking events and make some new friends. Join those Facebook groups and attend those events. And don't be scared to even create an event for yourself. Or not just for yourself, but you create it with the intentions of getting a group of people together. There's nothing wrong with that. And even if you only get 3 or 4 people attending, it doesn't matter. You don't necessarily need a huge group of 20 or 30 people to have a fun night out. Sometimes it's nice to have a small, intimate group. And it's a good way to get to know the other people on a nicer level. When it's a big group, it's harder to get to know people. It's usually just short, like surface level conversation. But when it's smaller groups, you can get to know people on a deeper level, which is nice. So don't get offended if you do something like that and you don't get much interest and you think, oh, I'm just going to cancel it. There's only 3 people. I'm just going to cancel it. No, stick with it. Do it. Because they might be the best 3 friends that you've ever made. Who knows? But use those opportunities. Use your phone as your tool to make new friends. And don't forget, when you're going to these places that you're going to on a daily basis and you're seeing all the same people, start acknowledging them. Stop doom scrolling when you're out in public, and be aware of your surroundings and the people that are around you. And you'll probably start to realize, oh, I see them every single day and I haven't even noticed. And who knows, it could be something that someone that you start talking to is wanting your service. You could be a business owner, and then you could start talking to them and they might find out that you have a hairdressing business, and they might be like, oh wow, I'm actually on the lookout for a new hairdresser. This is perfect. Where's your salon? Anything like that. You never know what you learn from another person or what you can get from them until you actually get out of your comfort zone and start talking. So lose that fear of actually interacting with other adults. Don't look at it like you're going on a date and you're going to get rejected. Look at it as you're just being a friendly, polite person that's acknowledging another adult. You are not going to get shut down. And if you do, then don't take it personally. because there's very few people that would actually do that if you're approaching them in a friendly, polite way. And if they do that, then just think, okay, that's not someone I want to be friends with. So don't worry about that. Get out of your comfort zone. Use your phone as your tool to meet new friends and meet or acknowledge people that you're seeing on a regular basis when you're out in public. So don't sit there at home thinking, my kids can make friends so easy because they're at school all day, every day, and they've got all these friends around them. But then you're going out and seeing just as many people. And it's quite common to even get in conversations with people, but then you don't take it any further than maybe a business interaction or a school interaction or sports related conversation or whatever it is. Don't be scared to go that next level with that person. And no, I don't mean sexually. I mean in interaction wise, in conversation wise. Don't just talk to them on surface based levels like just business conversation or work or whatever it is. School activities, sports. Take it that next level. Talk about something related to them, about what they do, what interests them, what they like doing. You might find out that you both have the same favorite restaurant. And you're like, oh, wow, we should go together sometime. When you're talking to people, get to know them more on a personal level, not just the surface-based level of what the actual meeting is related to. Like I just said, whether it be school, sports, work, whatever else. Get to know them on a personal level. Find out some questions about them. You might find out that you both grew up in the same suburb and you went to the same school and you were just a year or two different and you had no idea. And then that could spark a conversation like, oh, that's awesome. And then you find out you've got a similar friend group and then you end up catching up together. These things can spark from anything. You've just got to think outside the square. So you're probably speaking to an endless list of people on a daily basis. And I don't necessarily mean if you're making work phone calls or maybe you work in retail or hospitality and you're seeing people on it every day. I don't necessarily mean customers or clients. I mean, hey, if you want to go that far, then why not? There's no shame. I mean, hey, you could be serving someone in a shop that you work in and then you end up having a conversation and you find out you guys have very similar interests and you might be like, hey, let's catch up. Anything. Just think outside the square. There are so many ways to meet people. But you've just got to take your blinkers off and look at the people around you. Ask them questions. Don't be so focused on your phone. Don't be so focused thinking that everyone's going to be rude or everyone's going to shut you down or everyone's out to hurt you or get you. That's not anyone's motive. That's not what people are about. Ask them a genuine question and get to know them. That's how you make friends. Acknowledge them, smile, wave, nod, give them a morning. Give them a compliment. That's how you make friends. So don't sit there and think to yourself, oh, I don't know how to make friends or I can't make friends when you're not doing anything about it. And one last tip of something you can do is actually start joining some classes. If you're not actually participating in any activities yourself as an adult, find something. Join an art class, join a dance class, start going to yoga. Join a run group if you like running. Any kind of group like that. And if you're attending that on a weekly basis, you're going to be seeing the same people. And quite often when these people meet up, they might go for breakfast afterwards or grab a coffee or whatever else it is that they do. That's a great way to meet people. So find something that you're interested in and join a class or a group or an activity that you can attend on a weekly basis. And that's how you make friends. Doing things that you enjoy doing. And that's what you want, because when you're doing an activity that you like, you're finding a friend that's got a similar interest because it's what they like too. So if you're loving yoga and then you start having a chat to someone else that's attending this yoga class, then it's a win-win because you know they've got a similar interest. They also like yoga because that's where you started chatting. And then you might be like, hey, after this yoga class, let's go grab some lunch. There are so many ways and opportunities to meet people. You've just got to get out of your comfort zone. So I hope this has given you some great tips and ideas. So just a quick rundown again. Use your phone. Use your phones. We all have them. You're saying you don't know how to meet friends. Go to those Facebook groups, create an event, message old friends, people that you used to work with, people you went to school with, anyone. Just message someone, hey, what are you doing this weekend? Do you want to catch up? Whatever it is, use your phone to connect with people that you know, people from your past, or create a way to meet new people that you haven't even met yet. Join social groups, join hobbies, any kind of class or group activity that you like and you know you're meeting someone with the same interests as you. So find a group or an activity or something that you really like doing. And most importantly, take those blinkers off and be aware and mindful of the people around you. Focus on when you're going to these same places every single day or on a weekly basis or whatever it is. If you're going to these same places, have a look around. And be aware, are you seeing the exact same people all the time and you just haven't noticed? If so, start acknowledging them. Start acknowledging them in some way. Even start talking to the staff. Start talking to them. Have a conversation with them. And then when you see them when you're out somewhere, you can stop and have a chit chat. That's how you make friends. By not just being closed off and scrolling on your phone, by being aware and getting out of your bubble. Looking at people around you, acknowledging people around you, talking to people around you. Give them a compliment, ask them a question, anything. But don't be scared. Don't be scared to approach other people. Like I said, our kids are doing it on a daily basis. So why can't we as adults? And we need to lead by example with our kids. So if we're too scared to get out of our comfort zone and meet people, why should we expect our kids to? We can do it. There's no reason why us as adults can't get out and make new friends. And it doesn't matter if they're single or not single. Who knows? They may have a single friend that might be of someone that could be of interest to you. You never know how it's going to work out. Anything is possible, but you've just got to get out of your comfort zone and you've just got to make the most of those opportunities that you have every day when you're seeing people. Acknowledge people, talk to people, ask questions, start conversations, give compliments, do anything. That's how you make friendships. That's how you get to know people. Be kind, be courteous, be happy, and be mindful. So I hope this gave you some fun tips on how to get out and make some friends. I mean, they are pretty straightforward, really, when you think about it, but not many people do it. Because it's a common thing that you see. How do I make new friends as a single parent? So that's it. That's it. And I want to hear from you. If you've listened to this episode and you've done any of this, or you've gone somewhere on a daily basis and you've now taken the opportunity to acknowledge someone new that you haven't once done before because you've been too busy on your phone, I want to hear about it. Tell me your stories of what you've done to get out and meet a new friend. I want to hear. All right, guys. I hope you got something from this episode and I hope you all get out and start making new friends. So that's it from me for today. Thank you all. And until next time, I'll be in your ears then. Thank you for joining us on the Life After Plus One podcast. If you loved what you heard today and looking for some further support, then jump onto our website, lifeafterplusone.com. Plus, don't forget to check out our Instagram page for further resources and inspo. You can find all the links in the show notes. And remember, you're not alone on this path. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. And in the meantime, keep thriving, keep growing, and keep exploring your amazing life after plus one.